I have yet to see black people throw away Barack Obama, who was considered the first black president. He ain't no black American. His daddy's from Africa. And he has a white mama, yet somehow black people will allow him to claim being the first black president. But all of a sudden, Halle Berry, who has identified as black her whole life, a legend in black film and media, all of a sudden she wins that Oscar, and oh, F Halle now, some of y'all. Halle Berry cares about her peers in the industry who are black women. And she made it clear that night she won. She knew it wasn't just about her. Kind of like biracial people out there who do care for black people. You can do everything to try to help them and be their friend and fight for them, and they still gonna slap your ass right in the face and treat you like you wasn't shit and you ain't never did shit and you don't mean shit. Completely dismissed the history of the biracials who fought and did things to help black people. She thought that when she won the Oscar, it would open up the door for other black women in the industry. But Halle Berry did the damn thing, and Babs, nobody was complaining and saying Halle Berry can't play or is not a black woman. You didn't hear nothing like that. Monsters Ball. Look. Halle Berry is sad and distressed and says, "Make me feel good. Make me feel good. Make me feel good. Make me feel good." Also, look at Denzel. Denzel should have won for Malcolm X. All of a sudden, now that black people are mad at Trump, oh, y'all should have voted for Kamala. Black people were all over the internet trying to say that Kamala wasn't black enough, claiming she an Indian woman. That woman don't look like no damn full-blooded Indian. You can tell she had black by looking at her. There are light-skinned black women all over this country who look like Kamala. You have actual monoracial black women who idolize Marilyn Monroe and pay Dorothy Dandridge dust. Keep that same energy and start calling Sana Lathan mixed too. White mother this and all of that, but Sana Lathan has the same complexion and features as Halle Berry. And Sana Lathan's DNA results, she's over 40% European. I need you hoes to keep the same energy in 2026. I don't think Sana Lathan and Halle Berry look the same, but I have seen a black actress that does look like her. There has been this thing of people trying to put people with a white parent or something else, biracial, in with black women who also look similar, who are not biracial. There is a difference. There's a totally different experience when your mother that pushed you out and who raised you and whose culture you're being raised under is a completely different race. Even if you look similar, it still ain't full on the same. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. I want to talk about Halle Berry. I love Halle Berry, and well, she recently said something that had a lot of people talking, and I have to say that some of the comments towards her from black women, because Halle Berry is biracial, was disgusting to me. Halle Berry made history when she won an Oscar for Best Actress, and she is considered the first black woman to do that. We know that she played Dorothy Dandridge, as you can see above me, and I feel she should have won an Oscar for that role. Okay, now she made history. She made history when she did that. I know some of you will say, oh, she's not really the first black woman because of her ancestry. We're going to get into that. So Halle Berry says that it didn't change her career. Winning an Oscar didn't do anything for her. She says, I was still black the next morning. I think she was saying this to Cynthia Erivo, who was African, who has played a number of black American women, which has upset some people because they said that she said something that was offensive to the black American, our community. So Halle Berry said to Cynthia, and basically is saying to the world that, you know, winning an Oscar didn't do much. No other black woman has won an Oscar for Best Actress since her, and that she didn't have the roles all pouring in. Look, there's something called an Oscar curse. Halle Berry is not the only one. There have been a number of people who have said, once you win that Oscar, it's like things go downhill, because look, a lot of them think they're going to get $20 million per film, like I think Julia Roberts and Demi Moore. And there are a lot of studios and people who don't want to pay that money to them. They don't always want to do that, so they don't always have these roles pouring in, and a lot of different other reasons. Okay, so look, Halle Berry is legendary. Okay, And she is. Before she won her Oscar, and I have to say something. I have a little speech I'm going to give because look, black people, what I'm seeing today, and it's mainly from black women, black people did not care or didn't even know that Halle Berry was half white until she won her Oscar. Nobody cared. All the roles she played as black women, nobody was upset. Nobody was upset when she played a crackhead. Nobody was upset. But the minute she wins this Oscar and she becomes more mainstream big and she claims her mother as she should, all of a sudden today in 2026, I'm seeing black women acting brand new. F Holly, Holly ain't one of us, or oh, she a half white woman. Why wasn't nobody saying that back in the 90s? Nobody gave a damn. Halle Berry was accepted and seen as a black woman. And there's not a problem to me of Halle Berry claiming her mother. She should. Halle Berry said her mother told her, you will be seen as a black woman and it will be easier, no confusion, all of that. You are a black woman of biracial ancestry. Okay, Halle Berry is, look, someone said it in the comments and I'm going to show Halle Berry. This is a new thing, okay, with the whole acting like biracials are not even related to black people and all this other stuff. This is more new. Yes, we know the whole one drop rule thing and everything like that, but Halle Berry is like 60, like someone says. She grew up in a time when biracial people identified as being black and proud and wasn't doing all this I'm not black and all this other stuff. I don't have an issue with biracial people who are biracial today just say, oh, I'm biracial. It's not a big deal to me. And I don't care if Halle Berry identifies as black. Okay? I don't. I have biracial ancestors, not from slavery. What do I look like trying to dismiss them? I'm here because of them. Y'all are here because of biracials. Every time you get them DNA tests and it says you have white ancestry, y'all will say, oh, the white man, white woman. But that means that your ancestors were biracial people. That's why you're here. That's why the white is in there, because you had biracial ancestors who were mixed with white. Okay? This whole pretending like they are some new race, like you ain't ever seen a biracial, it's kind of weird to me. Okay? And a lot of biracials are a part of Black history. Frederick Douglass, I know a lot of y'all don't like him because of what he did to his wife, but there are countless biracial people, okay, who have been a part of Black history, who help Black people, who are your ancestors, the reason why you genetically exist, okay? And I'm not saying that you don't have a right to want to feel like, look, they have a white mama, a white daddy, whatever. They can claim that. But this whole attitude I'm seeing online a lot with acting like some KKK members or pretending like they're not even related to Black people. Halle Berry is half Black American. You will claim Lupita Nyong'o, because I've seen it, trying to make her the voice or let her talk or speak for Blackness. She's a 100% pure West African. Half of y'all don't even look like her. She's not Black American. She's not of your lineage, but somehow you'll let her speak for Black women, lift her up, but then you'll diss Halle Berry, who's half Black American, a part of your heritage and lineage, just because, oh, her mother was white. She's still related to Black American people. And I'm not saying that her mother don't count either. I just find it very interesting how you can see yourself in Lupita and let her represent. Your mama, your grandmama, your aunties and cousins don't look like that woman. You ain't no pure West African. Why she get to be the voice, but all of a sudden you want to keep dismissing people a part of your damn ancestry? It's just kind of weird to me. And that's not a diss towards Lupita. I think she's beautiful and talented, and she is a part of the Black race. I'm just making a point, okay? And I understand some of why that happened, because a lot of women who are half white were getting hired more to represent Black women all over movies and music videos. So I understand and I know where that comes from. But you can coexist. Okay, they are still a part of the race, and it's okay if they. I'm trying to hurry up to get into Halle Berry. The thing is, though, is that I see Black people flip-flopping all the time. I've seen when women who are Black presenting, who are mixed say I am mixed. I have literally seen black men and women bully them because, oh, well, you look black like us. Oh, you ain't no, telling them they can't claim their heritage, or no, you look black. Why you saying you half white? Oh, people just ashamed to say they black. And they have a whole parent that is not black or is biracial. I've seen this all the time. So black people a lot like to pick and choose who they want to be black, who they don't want to be black, who they want to claim, who they don't want to claim. I have yet to see black people throw away Barack Obama, who was considered the first black president. He ain't no black American. His daddy's from Africa. And he has a white mama, yet somehow black people will allow him to claim being the first black president. But all of a sudden, Halle Berry, who has identified as black her whole life, a legend in black film and media, all of a sudden she wins that Oscar, and oh, F Holly now, some of y'all. She ain't black, but Obama gets to be black. I've seen this a number of times. I think it depends on how they look. Then all of a sudden black people want to try to pick and choose who's black. And y'all do this with black women who ain't even biracial. Any black woman that's considered universally attractive and is a big star and is lusted for by men, if she becomes famous, y'all dissect how black she is and you won't accept her too. I've seen this a number of times. All of a sudden you have to dissect them if they're wanted and seen as beautiful. You know, how black is she? How coarse is her hair? What her mama look like? All this other stuff with her daddy. I don't have time for it. I'm going to leave it as I accept Halle Berry. I think that she is a great actress, and I don't care if she wanted to identify as black or biracial. She's a part of the black American ancestry lineage, and she did the damn thing. She's very proud of who she is, and she identifies as a black woman. Does it change that her mom is white? No. But there are countless, look, there are people around y'all when you go out, you don't even know that they have something else. It just kind of depends on how they look sometimes, you know? So I ain't getting into it. I'm not getting into the arguments. You can feel however you want to feel. I'm not changing how I feel. You can express how you feel. So it's just interesting to me. So let's get into it. And let me say, I understand and know where some of you are coming from, okay? I see all sides of things. But a lot of people have different experiences. There are a number of people who are biracial who have been called the N-word, not just from white people or people didn't even know, or they assumed that they were black. And in some cases, you know, people you can tell. And in some cases you can't always. And in some cases, a lot of cases, it didn't matter of the treatment that some of them go through as well. And I feel like, I don't know, when I've seen a growing number of people who are biracial saying they want to start their own communities and groups, I will see black people telling them all over comment sections, this is divisive, and all this other stuff. And, oh no, y'all are trying to do the blue vein society. Oh no, you can't. But then you complain that you don't want them to be black no more. Then when they want to separate, all of a sudden they get called a racist or all this other stuff. I'm not going through this confusion that a lot of people have and this flip-flopping and all of that. Halle Berry has been through it in the industry. You better believe that. And we're going to talk about that Monsters Ball and all of that. So look, she says again that it didn't matter. And I remember this night. When she won because I watched the Oscars when she won. I saw Halle Berry that night when she gave her speech. This was in 2002. And it says that she became the first black woman to win the Best Oscar. I remember the dress. Her dress was talked about. She had looked beautiful that night. And one thing I can say too is shame on some black women. What I saw online, Halle Berry, when she won that night, because I watched it, she cried her eyes out and she said, this is for the countless black women whose names and faces you don't talk about or see. She gave a shout out to Jada Pinkett Smith. She gave a shout out to Vivica A. Fox, Hattie McDaniel. Halle Berry's speech gave honor to black women in the industry, both the past and the present. So you can miss me trying to talk about some of y'all out there. Halle Berry don't care about black women in the industry. She's a half white woman. She doesn't identify with black women. You need to go rewatch her speech that night she won. Because she knew that other black women came before her, worked just as hard as her, Vivica Fox, Jada Pinkett, and didn't get the recognition. That's why Halle Berry made sure she said that in her speech that night. So miss me with the bull crap, because Halle Berry cares about her peers in the industry who are black women. And she made it clear that night she won. She knew it wasn't just about her. She said she shouted out Angela Bassett, the other black women whose shoulders I sit on. Halle Berry knew what it was, and she gave honor to the other black women who are still alive, who are in the industry, who are heavyweights just like her. So I love that Halle Berry did that. Okay? Now, as far as that film, Monsters Ball, just give me a second with that, okay? So this is what Halle Berry is saying after winning her Oscar. She sat down with the cut for a profile. Okay, I'm going to skip through some things, okay? She revealed that she advised Cynthia Erivo not to place any real weight on winning an Oscar. She's been nominated twice for Best Actress. Halle Berry made history as the first black woman to win the Oscar for her Best Actress performance in Monsters Ball. She has been the only one so far to win in that category. She says that the Oscar didn't necessarily change the course of my career. After I won it, I thought it was going to be like a script truck showing up outside, my front door. A lot of scripts being offered. While I was wildly proud of it, I was still black that next morning. Directors were still saying, if we put a black woman in this role, what does it mean for the whole story? Do I have to cast a black man? Then it becomes a black movie. Black movies don't sell overseas. Now, here's the thing. Why does it matter what race all the time a person is? It is a fictional character. Are black women not human beings? I can play any role. I'm a woman. I can play the role of any married woman. Why does my husband have to be black? Why does he have to be black in a film? Because a lot of people are still tribal and racist and feel offended seeing me with somebody else. That's y'all problem. Y'all need to evolve. It's a movie. It is a movie. Okay? And it's true. Black films don't sell overseas. Why is it that when people tell you, they're telling you without telling you, a lot of people around the world don't see themselves all the time in black people, and they are racist? That when they say magazine covers sometimes don't sell and stuff don't sell when they're black, that is their way of saying people from these other groups do not want to see you. They don't even support their own black people from their own ethnicities up over there. What makes you think that they're going to celebrate you all the time? I'm not saying this is the case for all of them. I always say it's 50%, 50%. Even if you play a character where the husband is not black, but the main character is black, you have people in different countries who automatically think it's a black film. Oh, I don't relate to black people. I don't like black people. I can't see myself in black people. All this other stuff. So this is an issue with the mentality of people outside of America and even within America. There are a number of films that have a black cast that's absolutely amazing. We as black Americans, we watch films, well, at least I did, from all races. I love a lot of films that I didn't even know at one time would be considered a white film. To me, it's just a film. It's just an amazing film. I could relate to the characters. I love Smecks in the City. I don't care that those women were in black. I love that show. I love Smecks in the City. It's legendary to me. And they weren't black women, and I still love the film. Unfortunately, there are people in this country, as soon as they're black, oh, it's black. So what? Are we not people or human and go through the same thing? Why can't you just sit and watch and relax and like a film? But I understand that culture does exist, but it's still amazing to me. Okay, so that's what she said. She also said, okay, it says, Cynthia Erivo's acting career took off years later. She had her own Oscar nominations, and Halle Berry told her, you better serve it. But I don't know that it's going to change your life. It cannot be the validation for what you do, right? Halle Berry has often spoken out against, her disappointment over her historic Oscar win, that it lacked impact. She was happy to win, but that it lacked impact for her career and the industry at large. She told Marie Claire in 2024 that she's eternally miffed that no black woman has come behind her to get the Best Actress award after her. She says, I'm continually saddened about that year after year. And it's certainly not because there has been nobody deserving of it. In fact, Michelle Yeoh, she's Asian, for Everything Everywhere All at Once, is the only other woman of color to win the Best Actress Oscar. Speaking to Variety in 2020, Halle Berry cited Cynthia Erivo playing Harriet Tubman, and Ruth Negga in Loving as Oscar-worthy performances by a black woman. She later added Andra Day, who played Billie Holiday, and Viola Davis and Ma Rainey's Black Button to the list. She says, I thought there were more women that rightfully and arguably could have won or should have won. I hope they would have, but why hasn't it gone that way? I don't have the answer. She says, one of my biggest heartbreaks is that it never opened up the door for me, the door for more black women at the Oscars, okay? She says, the morning after, I thought, wow, I was chosen to open a door. And then to have no one else win, basically, I question, was that an important moment, or was it just an important moment for me? I wanted to believe it was so much bigger than me. It felt so much bigger than me, mainly because I knew others should have been there before me, and they weren't. Just because I won an award doesn't mean that magically the next day there was a place for me. It was just continuing to forge a way out of no way. Okay, so that's what Halle is saying. She thought that when she won the Oscar, it would open up the door for other black women in the industry. And I have to say, reading this, I'm disgusted with some black women that from these comments. Halle Berry, like I said before, when you are a black person, whether you're mixed or not, black people will either build you up or completely destroy you. Which is why I said Megan Thee Stallion and Lori Harvey better not stay only loyal to black people, because they have tried to ruin these women. Halle Berry literally is making a statement that how winning an Oscar won't change for you. She thought she was helping and opening the door for black women that other black women before her should have won. And yet black women still manage to put this woman down because you can't get over that she got a white mother. Or that somehow she doesn't go through racism and discrimination and can't relate to black women. Oh, her mother's white. Do you know, how can you say this? All throughout history, even now, a number of people who are biracial have been discriminated against, called the N-word, had to drink out of the same water fountains that wasn't white. They have gone through the same shit that our ancestors who are more black have gone through. Even now, I have seen the countless horror stories of some of them who live in Utah and places where they're the only half black person in the town. Some of the things these people endure, like it's the damn 1950s, and then you want to dismiss it because, oh, well, you don't look as black as me. We see constantly that to racist people, even some of the most less black looking black people who get picked still get treated like crap. A number. And you might think, well, it's not in comparison because I'm more blacker. It would be worse for me. Y'all see this shit? I can't even go into it. And I'm not saying multiple things can't be true at once, but it's just amazing. It's kind of like biracial people out there who do care for black people. You can do everything to try to help them and be their friend and fight for them, and they still gonna slap your ass right in the face and treat you like you wasn't shit and you ain't never did shit and you don't mean shit. Completely dismiss the history of the biracials who fought and did things to help black people. They just treacherous, a number of them. I don't care if you get mad. And I'm not saying that every biracial person in history has been innocent who didn't want to start a group to just get rid of black people. All types of stuff. It's a lot going on. But historically, the majority were not against black people and got treated as black, made kids with your black great granddaddy and all this other stuff. It's just, Lord, I just, the vitriol that I saw towards Halle, I'm like, what did Halle Berry ever do to black women? For real. Let's keep it real. But some's got so much hate in their heart towards women, especially who are half white, that it's just sad. And I'm not saying, look, I've seen the videos. I know that some biracials today are, some of them are different than the ones from back in the day. Some of them, okay, not all of them. So it's something. So look, these are some of the films that Halle Berry has been in that I love. I first saw Halle Berry in Strictly Business. This film is never talked about. I love this film so much. It is so good. It's an excellent film. We have Boomerang. Boomerang is a classic Black American film. We have Eddie Murphy, Robin Givens, Halle Berry, Grace Jones, just to name a few. I love this film so much, and so many Black American people love the film. Okay, and nobody was dissecting, is Halle Berry black enough to play this role? You didn't hear anything like that. You have Queen. Queen is based off a real story. Alex Haley, Roots, and this was about his grandmother who was biracial and what she went through, and it really showed you. It was horrible. It's a really great film, and this is a classic film to me, Queen. You have Halle Berry. People talk about Monsters Ball. I know why, though, but The Rich Man's Wife, Halle Berry, her husband was a white man in this film. The Rich Man's Wife speaks for herself. I'm not going to tell you all about it. It's really good. You have Baps. Come on, Baps is another classic Black American film. It is so good. Rest in peace to the woman that played Niecy. But Halle Berry did the damn thing in Baps. Nobody was complaining and saying Halle Berry can't play or is not a black woman. You didn't hear nothing like that. And the thing is, I know it's 2026. Okay, it's not a big deal to say Halle Berry is biracial. She is. It's just some of the vitriol that I'm seeing and acting brand new as if this is some new event and F Halle ain't black enough. I ain't never heard this my entire life until in 2026 now. So, okay, Monsters Ball. Look, I'm going to keep it real with you. I didn't like the film. And it wasn't because she slept with a white man. I don't care about that as someone who's dated interracially. It wasn't that. I don't think it's just that he was white to some people. It's his character. The film to me, Halle Berry, Monsters Ball, the storyline wasn't much. Her husband's in jail. I think she lost her son. She's sad and depressed. You have Billy Bob Thornton, who has a racist daddy who says you won't become a real man unless you now had a black woman. And there are men who feel like that. So he actually is attracted to Halle Berry and likes her. I forgot what happened to his son. Halle Berry is sad and distressed and says, "Make me feel good. Make me feel good. Make me feel good. Make me feel good." All of a sudden, he's ripping off her panties, and then they start effing. Some people even think they was effing for real. Look, as far as I know, they weren't smexing for real. And I can't remember what happened, but that was pretty much it. And people were like, she got an Oscar. They think she got an Oscar because she degraded herself having this character who was I wouldn't necessarily say he was racist, but his daddy was. He was surrounded by that. Maybe he was, and then he ends up effing the crap out of Halle Berry, who's a distraught black woman who's, racism and stuff like that. So there are people who feel like, was this really an Oscar-worthy performance? And I have felt in the past that sometimes black actors, when they do get nominated, is for either a slave movie, playing a stereotype or something. And I don't like that. I feel like Halle Berry should have won. If she was going to win an Oscar, she should have won for playing Introducing Dorothy Dandridge. She did a phenomenal job. Her and Dorothy were from the same state, wore the same dress size, looked a little bit similar, had a very similar stories, a little bit. Halle Berry, this was a phenomenal movie, and she should have won for this, but it's not her fault. They didn't nominate her for, I don't believe she was nominated for an Oscar for this. This was an Oscar-worthy performance to me, and she should have won for that. Also, look at Denzel. Denzel should have won for Malcolm X. That film makes you cry. It was so wonderful. It was such a good film. He played the hell out of Malcolm X and telling his story. And it was really good. Really good. He should have won for that, but they decided to give Denzel an Oscar for Training Day. Training Day wasn't all that. Yes, I like when he said, King Kong ain't got shit on me. Yes, Denzel played the hell out that role like he does for every film. But at the end of the day, it didn't really have that much. The film wasn't an Oscar type of film for me. It just wasn't. But Denzel played his role very well. They gave him an Oscar for playing a thug police officer. He should have won for Malcolm X. Okay? And they don't just do this all the time to black people. Can you believe that Al Pacino did not get an Oscar for The Godfather? They snub a lot of films that are Oscar worthy. I can't believe, and other people cannot believe, that Al Pacino did not win for The Godfather. That's insane to most people. But when it comes to black actors, yeah, they F them over a lot. If it's not a slave movie, it's some sort of stereotype type of thing. So look, Halle Berry has been accepted and loved in the black community since she's been in Hollywood. She was on Jet magazine. That is a black magazine. Nobody was questioning, as if Halle Berry was black enough to be on Jet. You didn't see nothing like that. Halle Berry was on Ebony magazine. Okay? I'm showing this to show that black people had never threw away Halle Berry. They never discarded her. They never did not love her. And I've seen in the comment section some people saying, well, Halle Berry benefited for colorism. That's how she was able. I mean, and in Hollywood, if a black actress, she's usually either very light skinned or brown skin. Most deep chocolate, dark skin, actual dark skin women are discarded in black entertainment and in Hollywood. Even though now you see Viola Davis, okay? My thing is, though, is that I wouldn't necessarily say that with Halle. There are people saying, well, how other actresses who are black women were the same complexion as Halle Berry. They had the same light brown skin, Jada Pinkett, Sana Lathan, and others. So just didn't hear stuff like that. You just didn't, okay? You just didn't. And not back in those times, I'm not saying that colorism never existed, but you never really heard anyone talking like that back in the day, like, oh, Halle Berry, they put her in the film, because, oh, well, she didn't look strongly black and all of that. And I'm not saying some things like that can't exist, because it does exist in the black race. And I mean, if Hollywood, white men will give a chance to a actual dark-skinned woman over black people. Look who's been winning all these beauty pageants recently and everything, being hired for film. They're not being hired by black men. It's white men who actually appreciate dark-skinned black women in modeling and in entertainment over the black people that run their own entertainment. That's the quiet part nobody wants to say. All right, so again, before she won that Oscar, you didn't hear no black people dissecting Halle Berry's ancestry and saying that she wasn't black enough to play a black woman, or that they didn't love her or like her. Now you hearing something different up in these comments, and I'm going to read to you right now the comments that was said, because Halle Berry said, I was still black the next day, just like I was always black in the industry and how I've been treated in the industry. I'm black enough, damn it. And that, baby, me winning that Oscar didn't change a damn thing like I thought it would for me and other black women in the industry. Let's see what black women had to say off of this website about Halle Berry saying that. But you know what? I know that multiple things do exist, and I do know that, yeah, there were black men in entertainment who probably, hired Halle Berry because she's attractive and she's not strongly Negroid looking. strongly. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm not going to say that doesn't has never existed, okay? But I never heard black people bothered by Holly Berry as far as how she looked or saying that she wasn't black enough to them. I'm not talking about the directors and everything. I'm talking about, your everyday black people watching film and everything like that. Because there are black women who look like Holly Berry, black American women who do look like her, who could be her sister, who could be her cousin. Let's just keep it real. That does exist. I mean, if you're going to say who does Holly Berry lean towards more, most people would say black. And there are black women who don't look anything like Holly, and then there are some who do. And y'all know why that is. I don't have to go into detail. So let's look at the comments of what black women, again, were saying. Okay, so now here are the comments that black women were saying. Some of them support Holly Berry and understand Holly Berry, and then there are some who don't even care and just are bothered that she's biracial, who identifies as being a black woman and plays black women. Okay. Damned if we speak, damned if we don't. Holly has been consistent lately in critiquing the way that the industry treats black women. Being a black presenting biracial doesn't undermine the truth, it reinforces it. Imagine how current full black actresses are being treated. Actually, you don't have to imagine because, like I said before, they're barely on your screens. I haven't peeked into the crumbling award shows called the Oscars since that Will Smith slap. The answer is simple to me. Black women need to divest from consuming content that snubs us. The only language white supremacy understands is green, money. But I won't hold my breath. Y'all seem to be just fine focusing on what boring white actresses are wearing and doing with a black woman actress trending or something. Okay, Lupita had a similar sentiment. The systemic issues, black women representation, is getting worse. Our imagery is regressing, partly because black men are not in a position of power to gatekeep. Even when black men have power, they discriminate against more fuller blacker women or black women who look strongly negroid. They've been doing this forever. Okay, black men will be they a lot of them are just as treacherous and prejudiced and racist as a number of people who aren't black are. A number of them. This is facts, okay? And Hollywood barely invests in a black woman behind the camera. Now, I'm not saying every black man has done this, but y'all know. Come on now, I don't have to say. Y'all should know a number. Especially, it gets worse the more blacker the black man is. Strongly Negroid features, stereotypical, like what's that guy, Shannon Sharp? Very dark skin, very coarse 4C hair, a very wide nose, big lips. The worse the racism gets with a number of them. So if you think that if they get in a position of power, men who look like him, and that they're going to represent you, if you are more blacker looking black woman, darker skin, 4C hair, wide nose, and all that, and you think your counterpart, the men like Shannon Sharp, are going to invest in you, have you not been paying attention to history about how a number of them are? I wouldn't hold my breath on that with a number of them. Okay, let's see. Holly is from the 1960s, though. She was raised during a time when the one drop rule still mattered. Her own white mother told her that she was black. A 59-year-old woman is not going to suddenly stop identifying as a black woman. Hello, let's be real here. I'm convinced these fonts who go on and on about that she isn't black are trolls. Black people ain't never had this kind of smoke for black mixed race people for real. Some of them do. But since Obama won the presidency, there has been an uptick to disenfranchise black identifying mixed people from the collective, almost like a divide and conquer type of tactic. And it became even more apparent when Kamala was vice president and then she tried to run for president. But yeah, there were black people. Look, I find it weird all of a sudden now that black people are mad at Trump, oh, y'all should have voted for Kamala. Black people were all over the internet trying to say that Kamala wasn't black enough, claiming she an Indian woman. That woman don't look like no damn full-blooded Indian. You can tell she had black by looking at her. There are light-skinned black women all over this country who look like Kamala. What? But all of a sudden, oh, well, her parents from Jamaica, she can't represent. Black people were loud all about it online. We all saw it. Now, all of a sudden, she's black to some people. Y'all should have voted for her. I don't have time to flip flopping, like I said earlier. Okay. All right, so we really need to stop giving this type of nonsense energy. Start looking at people who type up this stuff and go on about who go on and on about the one drop rule as if inclusion of black biracial has hurt us when it never has, aka they have always been a part of history and the black experience. Okay. As for Holly, I understand where she's coming from. Also, I get tired of hearing about, oh, white passing. The average biracial is not white passing. And the ones that I've seen making those videos on TikTok, I knew immediately looking at them they were half black. I don't know what they talk. Just because you don't have dark skin and your hair is very straight, and you lean almost like you could pass for white, majority of the time they still don't. Most biracials do not look white on average. Majority of them don't. They do not pass as no damn white person. You can tell that they are half black. Even if they don't look full black, you can still tell they are half black. They mix with black. A good portion, the vast majority, only a sprinkle, a tiny sprinkle can fool you. On average, no. My opinion. At least I rarely see it. It's not that common. Okay? Even the ones who think they can pass, it's like I can tell you are not a full Caucasian. I know what Caucasian people look like. Okay, maybe you can pass for somebody from Puerto Rico, but or North Africa, but you don't look like no full on Caucasian. Okay, so they never have, which is why they were lumped in as being called black historically, majority of the time. Okay, as for Holly, I understand where she's coming from, but she needs to let this go, this topic. Other actors and actresses have spoke about the Oscar curse, so it's not just a black thing. And saying when white people catch a cold, black people get pneumonia. Sorry, y'all, I've been having some tongue twisters a little bit today on this video. Okay. Yes, but she needs to correct how she addresses it because other non-black actors and actresses have spoken about the Oscar getting the Oscar as a curse. Right now, she's framing the conversation as if her Oscar win didn't protect her blackness from the industry's bias. So what if she is? Why is it a problem for Halle Berry to speak on uplifting and addressing problems that black women are going through? Historical black problems that continue. Why does it matter how she says it? Who gives a crap? She's speaking up for you. Instead of acknowledging that most Oscar winners' careers have never taken off, that is true, or even speaking on how some actors have had great portfolios and careers without Oscars, like Leo and Demi Moore, it ain't the same. It's not the same. Some of these white actors and actresses are still getting paid more than Halle Berry, and their movies ain't shit. It's whack, it sucks, but they're still not even paying Halle Berry sometimes what she should get paid. She also said she thought that it would open the door and that it would help black actresses, and that it didn't. She's biracial, but in this context, she's black. In Hollywood, she is black. Biracial people have to deal with discrimination from both black and white people because both of y'all are so dumb. You cannot wrap your head around the fact that mixed people are both black and white. You can't judge white people for being racist when you're literally doing the same shit as them. Mm, mm, mm. Okay? I'm not buying that. Kim Kardashian built an empire off of doing amateur corn. If race was not a factor for Holly, Kim Kardashian got away with it because she is not black. A black woman would never make it to Kim Kardashian's level doing what she did. She was uplifted and celebrated because she was having sex with a black man, and she's an attractive woman. Now, she ain't really full on Caucasian, but some people still say she's white and all that other stuff. At the end of the day, she's not a black woman. Things don't work the same when you're a black woman. We all know this, okay? If race was not a factor for Holly, the role should have been coming in nonstop. Yeah. Okay, this person is agreeing. Sorry, she's agreeing. Okay, she says that Monique said the same thing. She said after she won that Oscar, the offers did not make sense. They do this to humble these black actresses. So this woman is agreeing that Holly Berry is being done dirty. Okay, I'm not going off on her. I'm just saying, you know, yeah, Kim Kardashian being treated different. Okay, and Kim Kardashian got famous because of black people. Black men were obsessing because she's a beautiful woman that black men had access to, comes from a famous family, and the blogs would not stop talking about her. And then she got the butt implants and all that stuff, the black woman's body, and then was uplifted even more. She's popular because of black media, but no one will ever say that by obsessing over her. Holly Berry is a goddamn lie. She was the only black woman I remember being upheld in the same light as a white woman in her day. That is true too. She was popular, but did she get the movie roles? She was popular for Smeck's appeal for being pretty, but did that help her get movie roles? A lot of them. Old white men wanted her so bad and would have cast her just to be in her presence. How could she say all of this when she had movies left and right after Monsters Ball? She booked the X-Men movie franchise and others. It was Holly's time. She was America's Smeck symbol. Her phone rang. She didn't like who she thought was on the line. If anything, it wasn't being black that kept her from roles. It was smexism and her having to turn down roles because she was sexualized so much, or having powerful men possibly hating the fact that she was a powerful woman, not willing to sleep her way to the top. Everything isn't racism for black women in Hollywood, it's smexism. Oh, believe me, it's racism too. It is sometimes. I also find that there's some sort of agenda to keep putting these pure African women in place of black American women. And when I say that, I'm not saying that to sound racist, but they are casting women directly from Africa who live in the UK, whose parents are from Africa. They're discriminating against the black American woman. They are. Everyone sees it. This is a fact. Okay? Let's see. It's also in the modeling industry too. They're discriminating against black American models, like I said. Okay. Many of these hostile comments come from the fact that she's an attractive light skinned woman. If she were dark skinned, the complaining hold on. If this were a dark skinned woman complaining, would be more sympathetic. I agree with him. I say I agree because I have seen this repeatedly on other websites and on YouTube, but on other websites, all of a sudden, I understand the plight. But see, when somebody thinks you benefit from something, or they know that men within the race would talk to you more, they don't think you have problems. They don't think you have pain. Just like when Tisha Arnold talked about Tisha Campbell being mistreated and was crying about it. Oh, that ain't colorism. I guess it's only colorism when you get called names and picked on. But the minute that it happens to a woman you feel is benefiting or is lighter or has looser hair, all of a sudden, oh, it ain't the same. It don't matter. You see how disgusting some of you are, that your racism and prejudice is okay, but when it's flipped on you, the world must stop and have sympathy, but you can't have sympathy for the other women who go through what you're going through when it's being done by you. And I'm not saying this is happening, that every black woman is doing this, but this does exist. The hypocrisy. Oh, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. It does exist. Okay? So, let's see. Who else would be the best person to say this? She experienced it and lived with this for the last 23 years. And, like I said before, I'm not talking about all black women and men, so don't come for me. I'm very clear when I speak. I'm not talking about everybody when I say what I said, but it does exist, okay? Who else was going to speak? And it should be Holly Berry saying this. Tiana Taylor is too happy to get naked and gyrate across the nearest surface. There's nothing she could say about winning an Oscar that any real black actor with true integrity and talent could possibly benefit from hearing. Okay, let's see. She sounds like another mixed female celebrity who blames her not fitting in on her racial background. It's called the tragic mixed syndrome. You see what I'm saying? How do you know what Holly Berry has gone through behind the scenes? from directors and producers who see her as a black woman. How do you know what she's been told? How do you know? But see, you don't think she's going through anything because, oh, well, she's mixed. So, what she know about pain and tragedy and struggle? Historic. I mean, y'all, I don't even have to say anything. Holly degraded herself to win that Oscar. It's not surprising that she wasn't taken seriously after that. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see. She seems to blame everything. Hold on. She seems to blame every career hurdle she's faced on being black. This person says, but that's very real. Black people, especially black women, do face hurdles because of being black. Are you new to racism in America? I don't think she's a great actress, but I don't think that about other successful Hollywood actresses. I'm very disappointed as an adult that Holly Berry won for Munster's Ball. As much as my 11-year-old self was happy to see her win, when Holly won and broke the glass ceiling, the role seemed like a humiliation ritual. Holly was never a strong actress to begin with, but could hold her own on screen as a movie star partly because of her beauty, her sex appeal, and people being, drawn to her. Holly's win opened the door for black women to win in the supporting actress category and nothing more. I just find it interesting how people criticize Holly Berry's acting, but yet y'all were just going crazy over that movie Sinners. I'm not trying to be mean, but that movie was not all that. The acting was subpar. It was nothing that much, that movie Sinners, but because it was Michael B. Jordan, all of a sudden, oh, he must win an Oscar. Oh, there was a black director. Oh, it had a black cast. Yeah, and the film dragged to me. I've never publicly said it because I wanted to support them. The racism in Hollywood, I wanted to see them be supported because they did put work into it. But the truth is, and most black people will be shamed for publicly saying it, Sinners was not Oscar worthy to me. The acting wasn't anything at large. To me, The Lost Boys, An Interview with the Vampire, still remains the best to me. But if I say that, how could you? You're black. You shouldn't say stuff like that. But y'all, people want to talk about Halle Berry. Halle Berry's acting is better than that in Sinners. But because she's a woman and she's beautiful and she happens to have a white mama, some of y'all want to go against her. Yeah, I see right through it. I'm keeping it real. Okay? Halle Berry's win. Okay. White Hollywood was never going to give her the Julia Roberts, Charlize Theron, or Sandra Bullock treatment. Why? Because she's not white. After her historic win, Hollywood just checked off a box, then moved on like the win didn't happen. Yeah, I'm going to give Holly a pass. I'm old enough to remember when Introducing with Dorothy Dandridge was released and she won a Golden Globe. I remember her post-show interview. She was one of the first celebrities I had ever heard uplift the forgotten black women pioneers like Dorothy Dandridge, Lena Horne, and more. I remember her saying something like, Dorothy Dandridge deserves to be revered just as much as Marilyn Monroe. I actually said that 2 years ago too, or something like that. Meanwhile, you have actual monoracial black women who idolize Marilyn Monroe and pay Dorothy Dandridge dust. Baby, I had said that. You will see black women with Marilyn Monroe posters, figurines, all types of stuff, naming themselves after this woman. They don't pay Dorothy nothing. A number of them. And yeah, Marilyn Monroe was pretty and she's legendary. And from what I hear, she was friends with Dorothy. The point is she's like, how y'all gonna talk about Holly? Holly Berry uplifted black women. But yet y'all don't even uplift Dorothy. Y'all rather put Marilyn over Dorothy, a number out here. Okay? Keep that same energy and start calling Sana Lathan mixed too. White mother this and all of that, but Sana Lathan has the same complexion and features as Halle Berry, and Sana Lathan's DNA results, she's over 40% European. I need you hoes to keep the same energy in 2026. I don't think Sana Lathan and Halle Berry look the same, but I have seen a black actress that does look like her. Halle Berry, same complexion, just about, yes. Same features, a little bit similar. They don't look the same to me, but I get her point. Her point that, she says, now I don't know Sana Lathan's DNA results. I haven't seen them, even though it's very clear her mother and father have mixed ancestry. Very obvious when you look at them. But she's claiming that Sana Lathan is 40% white, just even a little bit more than 40%, which does exist in America. They keep trying to say that black people only are 20% white. That's not true. Actually, it's higher in certain places, especially in the DMV area. And most black people don't even get tested with these results. And there have been a number I've seen on YouTube who are over 20%, over 30%. So that does exist. But she's saying if you won't accept Halle Berry, stop claiming Sana Lathan and other black women who look like Halle Berry then. That's what she's saying. But you have to understand though, Halle Berry, there has been this thing of people trying to put people with a white parent or something else, biracial, in with black women who also look similar, who are not biracial. There is a difference. There's a totally different experience when your mother that pushed you out and who raised you and whose culture you're being raised under is a completely different race. Even if you look similar, it still ain't full on the same. So I think people need to stop doing that because it's not accurate and it's slightly offensive. So, and I'm not saying you have to dismiss the fact if you do have mixed ancestry too. But she's saying, how are you gonna treat Holly Berry like this? And you got black women actresses that also have the same skin tone and resemble Holly Berry and 40% European, but yet you ain't trying to diss them and dismiss them. I think this leans, like I just said, the whole mama thing and culture and stuff. I know y'all will let us all know how you feel in this comment section, okay? So let's see. Well, since you're all about the plight of black women, you should be skipping the Oscars for the countless amount of times they've passed over well deserving black actresses like Angela Bassett, only to turn around and reward mediocre performances from white actresses like Jamie Lee Curtis. I skip the Oscars every year and will continue to do so. There's nothing racially ambiguous about Zinzi Evans. You most likely heard that girl had Chinese ancestry and it sent you into a tizzy. Black women like you make my skin crawl because you will disregard all the good black men and women that do good in our community if you take issue with who they lay down with every night. Ryan Coogler continues to make history. And see, that's why I didn't want to say anything about Sinners, because he did make history having one of the most successful films of the year. Even if I thought it was okay, but it wasn't all that to me, but it was still decent. But I didn't want to say anything to kind of put him down or make y'all think I didn't support him. He was okay to me. The film Sinners was okay, but I know how important it was, and that at the end of the day, it was the most successful film of the year. And I think it was disgusting how he was snubbed basically at the Oscars to win for film of the year, because it is about numbers too. As far as numbers, he had the top film of the year. Okay, so she says Ryan Coogler continues to make history and has shown Hollywood time after time that our stories need to be told, and he tells stories with care. Despite having a white mother, Halle Berry has never been white passing, and having a white man on her arm has never shielded a biracial or fully black woman from racism. Have we not learned that from Meghan Markle? Would you be more sympathetic towards Halle Berry if she stayed with Wesley Snipes, who beat the crap out of her and made her go deaf in one of her ears? Based on the tone of your post, it's pretty safe to say you're rife with insecurity. You're trying to pass it off as concern for our community. Girl, you don't even bother quoting me again, because I'm muting your mic. And okay, let's see, you have a Zeus subscription or something. Okay. Let's see. Y'all trying to make this a matter of her ability in digging up her being biracial is slow thinking, given the fact that Monique, Taraji, and more have said the same thing. Hell, when I Googled to get a quote from either of them saying this, I found a white lady saying the same thing. There is a such thing as an Oscar curse. Winning an Oscar doesn't open doors. It's nearly recognition from your peers. That's it. Okay, just a few more comments to show. Julia Roberts, and I love Julia Roberts. Her films are amazing. Julia Roberts was the first actress to be paid $20 million for her movie, every movie after her win. Charlize Theron was given countless parts and the salary to match after her win. Sandra Bullock is an industry darling to this day and continues to be one of the highest paid women in Hollywood. She was paid 70 million for one film. What? For Gravity, they gave her 70 million. And I actually love all of these actresses too. They have really good films. Okay. But for black women, let's be real. Angela Bassett is not even making as much as Zendaya. Now, Zendaya identifies as black. She's half black. Zendaya still doesn't even get as paid. Zendaya is the highest paid right now with Euphoria. Baby, Jennifer Aniston was getting paid way more than that, and that was in the 90s for doing Friends. Angela Bassett still ain't getting paid what she should be getting. Angela Bassett is the top, baby, actress, period, in America, in my opinion. Holly's career can't compare to Julia Roberts, Charlize Theron, Sandra Bullock. The Oscar win didn't solidify her legacy and A-list status for breaking the glass ceiling. Holly was never a leading lady comparable to those white women, which isn't her fault due to the gatekeeping. Holly had to resort to being the face of menopause, the menopause cause. She doesn't get available roles to maintain relevant. Let that sink in. You know, it's crazy to me because I do see Halle Berry still being talked about, at least a lot on black media and on some e-news, which is People and everything. She does get talked about still. And I see people who compliment her all the time. But just because the public loves you, what is her work looking like is the issue. And what she's saying is she's not getting the roles that she wants, and quality is not pouring in as a top actress who won an Oscar versus other women who are white. That's what's going on. Okay. So, you know what? I'll save it. The last thing I want to say, some advice for Halle Berry and what I think a lot of black actors should do. And I have said this in a past video. As much as I love Halle Berry, she just isn't a good actress. I disagree. I don't think she should have won that Oscar if she didn't pull out her titties. Again, introducing Dorothy Dandridge was Oscar worthy for me. Ooh wee! I remember people ripped Angela Bassett at the time for saying it wasn't a good win for black women. I don't remember Angela Bassett saying that, but maybe she did. They said that she was jealous, the jealous stereotype. Yet here we are with Halle Berry herself admitting that the Oscar win did her no favor as far as her career. I want to say it's a race thing, but so many people have said that it didn't help much. Hollywood would never admit it, but box office numbers are more important than trophies, the money. The studios appreciate them, but they want the money. Yeah, they invest into you if they know people want to see you. You're gonna make look, we invested 20 million for this film. You're gonna bring in 200 million because people want to see you. You're popular and you're gonna make the studio money. You're making this studio money. People have to want to see you. I mean, Halle Berry, I think, does great films. I like The Call that she did. That was really good. Okay, she's done well for herself, but she doesn't have the Zoe Saldana career trajectory. Zoe Saldana is not all that to me. I'm sorry. She's more popular for Avatar. What else does she do that's really all of that? I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. If she did, I doubt she'd be complaining or making these statements. She has regrets and wishes things were different, but that's all she can do at this point, which is why she does it often. Unfortunately, she was never going to have that long, super successful career. Look, Halle Berry ain't, it's not over for her. She still looks good. She's still acting. She can do other stuff. I don't think she should just be written off because she's complaining. She's still like I think she can still do it. She's been really beautiful, but always a side character in major projects, never the standout lead Monsters Ball was a true curse for her. It won her the Oscar, but it damaged her career. By who? White people weren't complaining about that Billy Bob scene. The only people complaining all over the place publicly, putting her down publicly, have been black people. It damaged her career. I say whatever black actress wins the best actress next time might actually change the mold, but it's actually disheartening that not even Viola Davis has been able to win that award. Whoopi should have been the first, then Angela. She is literally 60, an A-list, and still starring and producing movies, a working actress. She doesn't have nothing to prove, Halle Berry. Okay? There were white actresses who have done similar and probably worse, like Emma playing a baby prostitute. I don't know. Are you talking about Brooke Shields and that Anona girl playing a young stripper? I don't know who these are. So what do you mean? What's going on with black women trashing our own nowadays, giving a racist reason to further cancel us? Can we stop? We need to stop making weird excuses why we didn't deserve anything. Yeah, she's saying that other races of girls, women, have played prostitutes and hookers and stuff, but all of a sudden, Holly Berry, you have to cancel her. She played a crackhead in, was it Do the Right Thing? Was it Do the Right Thing? She was a crackhead? I'm not 100% sure. It might have been Do the Right Thing when she was with Samuel L. Jackson, his girlfriend, and she was playing a crackhead. Okay. I like Holly Berry, but I'm tired of her complaining and her entitlement. Her whole career, she's been crying about race, but never acknowledged how she benefited from colorism. She can't act a lick and only won that Oscar by humiliating herself. Still, her career has been more successful than actual black women who can act like Regina Hall and Sana Lathan. You bringing up colorism. Sana Lathan is the same complexion. She brung up Vanessa Williams, but yet black women sometimes dissect Vanessa Williams. So at least she's picking and choosing who you want to be in the group. Okay, her career has been more successful than actual black women like Regina Hall, Sana Lathan, Angela Bassett, Vanessa Williams, and more. Regina Hall is not in no movies like that. What movies can you name that she was a lead and that everybody was flocking to? She has been a supportive actress in most films. She is a good actress, but she doesn't have any heavy hitting films, even in the black community. Okay? And I'm not saying that to diss her. Okay? I rarely ever hear any of them complaining. Holly is delusional, thinking she has the Zoe Saldana type of acting chops. What Zoe Saldana acting? What is so amazing about her acting? She's not an amazing actress. And she says she's not no Zoe Saldana. Zoe Saldana is famous because she has the Hispanic community backing her because she's Hispanic, which is huge, a huge number of them. What has she been in besides Colombiano, whatever, in Avatar? And in Avatar, she ain't even showing her face. She's blue. She's a blue Avatar thing. What else has she done like that that is so amazing? She damn sure don't have a catalog like Halle Berry. You can miss me with that shit. No, she does not. Okay? Let's see. Hold on, that's the same thing right there. I'm tired of her entire entitlement and complaining, they says. Holly again is from the 1960s, so the one drop rule it still mattered. Her mom saying that she was black, 100%. I remember her mother in an interview saying, I raised both my daughters as black. I told them the world will see you as black and they will never believe that I'm your mother. The majority of people didn't even know she was biracial in the 90s because she's black presenting and she identifies as black. She didn't benefit from colorism the way that Vanessa Williams and Lisa Bonet and Zendaya would. That's not true at all. That's not actually true. Historically, most black actresses are either very light or brown. Dark skinned black women are the ones who suffer the most in entertainment in Hollywood. Okay, who can I name? She had passed away. Cicely Tyson. Black women her complexion and who look like her. Those are the black women effed over the most. Most black women you name who are successful and legendary in Hollywood and in black media are either very light or brown. Then the darker you get, the worse it gets. Stop playing and stop lying about this, okay? She did, if you're going to say that, Halle Berry is successful. She is lusted for by both black men and not black men. So, okay. Vanessa Williams had death threats when she won Miss America. Death threats for winning. This site is full of angry weirdos. What Halle Berry said is the truth of Hollywood. No matter what you think about racial women on the site, in Hollywood and everywhere else, she is considered black and has been her whole career. People talk about her talent being mediocre, but white actresses who are mediocre get good roles all the time, roles that casting agents won't give a black woman. She gets more opportunities and considerations than a lot of dark skinned black women would, but Hollywood is still racist with casting, and she is still a black woman to them. That's Halle Berry's fault. She took a bad role one after the other after she won that Oscar. What was the last great movie she was in? I loved her performance in John Wick 3 and whatever one she was in, but let's be honest, it's an action movie. Nobody is winning anything for an action movie. She was good on the Netflix movie where she was an MMA fighter, but the script was weak. I'm trying to think. I can't think of a great role, a great movie she has done in the last 20 years. I disagree. It's a film called Kidnapped and the Call. Those were really good movies that she did, and I think that it wasn't promoted as much because it touched on sex trafficking of children. And we all know what's going on right now, how a lot of people don't want people talking about that. There doesn't seem to be an uproar about her playing a crackhead prostitute in Jungle Fever. Okay, it was Jungle Fever, not Do the Right Thing. Or a crackhead mother who put her baby in the garbage and losing Isaiah. The issue is that she won an Oscar for Monsters Ball. She wasn't a prostitute or a crackhead in that film. And notice how people don't even point out that she was an abusive mother in that film as well. Why is one worse than the other? Because he was white? That's what black people got a problem with, because Billy Bob was white. Even though she had a white husband and the rich man's wife, but it was a racist theme to Monsters Ball. They didn't like that, he came from this racist household, this old country stank looking redneck, bending Halle Berry over like that, and it just, that's what bothers some of them. Okay. Let's see. I think people keep forgetting that most actresses who win these awards and finally have a breakthrough still have to be bankable and marketable. They have to. There have been so many women who won Oscars who we've never heard from again. I keep going back to Hilary Swank after she won consecutive Oscars for Boys Don't Cry and Million Dollar Baby. Hilary Swank is an amazing actress, but they don't like her for some reason. I don't know what it is. She openly admitted that she could not book any jobs despite her prestige and acting skills. Casting directors told her she wasn't marketable and didn't bring people to the theaters. That's not true. And let's be clear, stop acting like Halle Berry is the first actress to play these type of roles and win an Oscar. There have been a number of maids, prostitutes, strippers, and explicit sex scenes roles that have won Oscars. Just tells you that most of the Academy voters are looking for what they're looking for. Holly is lucky because she already had an established name before she won the Oscars. She had something to fall back on, but the reality is that an Oscar can only elevate someone's career who was already bankable, and it's not even guaranteed these days. Well, the film industry has gone down, period. Period. I do think that Julia Roberts is a top actress, and Demi Moore and Charlize, everyone that has been named, they make really good films that I've liked. But they're not even putting out films either. The film industry has gone down so bad. When I have gone to the theaters, it's just about empty. It's so sad. After the COVID and so much more, and now with all this streaming, it's just not the same anymore. Okay, it doesn't help us when our own people keep diminishing her and saying that she only got the Oscar for sleeping with a white man and gave her hell. Black people did Halle Berry dirty, and you're doing the same thing with Tiana. Okay? This is what some systemic oppression and institutionalized racism looks like. I'm pulling my hair out for y'all to understand we need our own. Even if they wanted to cast black people, they are fearful of losing money, so they don't, because it's about the money. And if a lot of people are racist and they don't want to see you, they feel it's hurting the studio. We need you to bring in the money. Black people, celebrities need to stand together. Black movies, black playwrights, black producers, viewing to a black audiences. Y'all have not learned anything from Sinners and Black Panther. Stop seeking validation in white spaces is the remedy. Create your own space and make it black first and foremost. It also doesn't help that we literally create culture. What is cool to something will become cool eventually. Use that to topple the system, the white system. Y'all remember Versus during lockdown? Is sold out to Apple. We are American culture. Okay, they don't want us to know our impact. I mean, some people are aware of the impact that what a large black audience can bring as far as numbers and making something successful. Okay, but look, well, y'all complain. If you have a very successful black film and it's snubbed by the Oscars again, are y'all going to complain about it or just accept that there are some people who are racist who don't want to give you your props for what you're doing? Okay, so, oh, okay, I just have one last comment to show you. Yeah, I'm going to give Holly Berry a pass. Okay, I had read this already that she uplifted black women actresses in the industry and how black women will support Marilyn Monroe over Dorothy Dandridge, something that I had said before. So, Holly Berry, she said again, I won that Oscar and I was still black the next morning, aka the industry was still the same. I still was being snubbed for certain roles. Maybe she didn't get the pay increase like Julia Roberts, Sandra Bullock, Charlize Theron, and she told Cynthia Erivo, "Don't get too happy. Basically, don't let it go to your head because it doesn't mean it's validation. You will still be going through it, probably still in this industry." So, what I have to say is that it's just, it's crazy that in 2026 we're seeing a lot of regression and a lot of things still haven't changed. And will it change in my lifetime? I'm not sure about that, but I had said in a previous video I had about black actresses like Angela Bassett being effed over financially is that I do think that actors in Hollywood should come together and start a production company. Start a production company together, like what Tyler Perry has done. Okay, Denzel Washington, Holly Berry, Angela Bassett, use your resources. Use your resources and start a production company and start hiring black writers and looking at movie scripts. And look, streaming is popular now, and Tyler Perry was very popular on Netflix with his film with Taraji, which was so good. Start a production company together and start putting your films out on some of these streaming services, since that's what so many people are doing. Use social media for advertising and marketing. And yes, you can also include people who are not black if you want to also reach an audience, because so-called black films doesn't have to just have a black audience. Okay, other people can enjoy your films too who aren't black. That's what films should be. I mean, look at Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon has a ton of money because she started a production company. She did something where she started buying the rights to books and stuff and made the books into movies and had the movies released. Do something like that. Reese Witherspoon is amazing for what she did. I think that black actors could do something like that if they come together as a group and start a company together. Have your lawyers, make sure everybody's paid correctly, okay, and start a production company together. Some of them do have their own production companies by themselves. Maybe they should come together and, have writers doing the damn thing, both older writers and the new ones, and do something together. I think it could be done. And you can reach out. You don't have to just work with people in America, work with some people outside of America, branch off, you know. I know people talk about Bollywood and racism. There's a film I like that was in Bollywood, and Ashanti, the singer Ashanti, actually was in the film. She was doing a music performance in the film, and you see that sometimes, you know, do some different things. I think it could work, and I support Halle Berry. I support Halle Berry. There's a lot more that she's probably not saying behind the scenes that people don't know about. Y'all can have an idea of what actresses go through with powerful men in the industry, and I don't know. I don't know what kind of roles have come her way. The Call and Kidnap were good films, but it didn't do that great, but it was really good. If y'all haven't seen it, you should see it. And she wants more roles, and I don't know. I don't know all of what's going on. I don't think it's because she's not marketable. Holly Berry is still talked about all the time on social media. She's considered an icon and a legend, and she still has Smex appeal. She still has a great body. She still looks great. Um, I don't know. I've seen actors and actresses that you wouldn't believe on commercials now because the industry is doing that bad that they're on commercials selling products. Lifetime. Lifetime is still okay to me. It's not the same as it used to be in the past, but there have been some big name. There have been actresses doing Lifetime films. Netflix is the big thing. Going to Netflix when Sandra Bullock did that film The Birds or something like that on Netflix, and it was huge. So I think maybe Holly should diversify some things that she's doing, and I don't know if her talking like this is going to hurt her, and they might not send her scripts. You know how they like to label actresses as difficult, especially when they're a woman. I don't want that to happen for her. I think with the money that Halle Berry has, perhaps she should start her own production company like other actresses have done and market it to. Netflix is one of the most popular streaming services, or maybe she can. Look, I don't know if Tyler Perry did those things that he's been accused of, but let's say he didn't. I don't know. Maybe she could link up with him and make a really great film. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. What advice would you give Holly Berry, and how do you feel about what has been said mainly from Black women? I mean, from what I saw on that website about Holly Berry. Do you support Holly Berry? Do you see Black Halle Berry as a Black woman, or do you accept her identifying as a Black woman her whole life? Do you feel she's lying about what's going on in the industry? That she's just being tragic, a tragic mixed woman about it? How do you feel about Monsters Ball? Do you feel it was a bad film because it was a white man she slept with? Do you feel because he was a redneck type of white man? Do you think that hurt her career? Do you think it's bull crap? It didn't hurt her career. What do you think is really going on with Holly? And do you support Holly? Not how you feel about the men she's dated and had kids with, because that's nobody's business, but her as an actress. As an actress, okay? Again, Monsters Ball. I support her having range and playing different type of characters because that's what you're supposed to do as an actress. But for me, introducing Dorothy Dandridge is the film she should have won an Oscar for, but they snubbed her for it. She is legendary in that film, and that's how I feel about it. I didn't look at her differently because she slept with Billy Bob in a movie. I saw it as a movie that I didn't care for, but I didn't take it personal, or I don't know. I know the history of this country and stuff, as that's one of the reasons some people took it a certain way. But she wasn't great by the man. It was consensual smecks, their characters in that film. And it is 2026, and Black women are with white men getting married. And in case you don't know, they have smecks together and make babies. So, if you have an issue seeing a Black woman with a white man, that's something within you, because there are plenty of Black men who are sleeping with white women on film and not on film and making babies all over the place. So, but to me, it wasn't an Oscar film. For me, it was introducing Dorothy Dandridge. How do you feel about everything that I just read to you? How do you feel about Halle Berry and what she said? So that is it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you all think about what you just heard. And yeah, I chose this picture. I love Mariah Carey, Halle Berry, Sade, and these are three amazing biracial women that most of the world loves, okay? And I don't care how they identify, they are amazing. They make such good music and great films and are beautiful, and I love them. So let me know what you think. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell and click all notifications so you know when I'm live and when I'm uploading. You all take care. Bye.